right, we're back here on the bonus round with Michael Pachter, Michael McWhorter, and Garnet Lee. This week, we're getting into Nintendo, some of the current generation games, and what we expect for the holidays. So let's quickly touch on our friends at Nintendo. Last year was their big launch with the Wii U. This year, they've got a new Mario game coming out. Donkey Kong recently announced will be shifting to 2014, along with like Mario Kart and Super Smash. And it seems like they got a lot next year. But this year, I mean, is Nintendo even in the conversation, Michael McWhorter?
Not really. I mean, you know, they don't really have a lot of the strong system sellers planned for the holidays. Mario looks good. You know, we're definitely not wanting for too much Mario on Nintendo systems right now. You know, initially that game's reveal at E3 didn't really excite me too much, but they just did some press on it recently and showed some interesting new facets of the game. I'll get it, but there's really
That's literally all they have, though, right?
There's really not much.
I mean,
else
there's the
for the
Zelda
rest of the
remake, and they've got, you know, Batman and Assassin's Creed. And
they're going to make their hay on Pokemon and the 2DS, right? And they're
Yeah.
going to sell that into the family market, and that's going to be that's going to carry their holiday, and it'll carry their holiday well.
I mean,
Yeah, they've got a much stronger spring lineup, and you know, I think that they
2014
don't want to
looks
compete
pretty good.
with people who are going to be spending $500 or $600 on new systems this
They
fall.
they did the usual thing. Everybody else went here, so Nintendo zags back into their heartland. Says, you know what?
I feel like they're just gonna. I mean, they're not even really gonna be talked about that much this holiday season.
That's for sure.
Is that their goal? Is sort of just like lay low?
I think they wake up in the morning and say, "How do we
not?"
not get talking?" No, I think that they misfired with the Wii U.
Right.
It's not a particularly fun system to play, and everybody who talks about Nintendo talks about software. You never hear anybody say, "Oh, the Wii U is the best system I've ever played."
Right.
I think they're licking their wounds. I think that this late in the year they've acknowledged that we're a software company, and software will drive hardware, and that's a 2014 event, and we'll just lay low until 2014. Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I think they are a software company. Not at all. Stock's not at its low, but mostly because the yen has weakened against the dollar, so the stock's gone up. But it's dragging along. You know, it's way lower than it was back in the GameCube era. So
does Iwata survive? Do you think?
He will live probably till he's 80 or 90, but as CEO, no chance.
Okay.
No, in fact, his biggest supporter, Yamauchi, passed away a couple weeks ago.
Right.
I think that if the board manages the company for investors, that he will miss his 100 billion yen profit target this year by a lot.
Right.
And I think they will find somebody to replace him. So get your resume ready.
You Pachter.
I think I'm probably not on the short list for CEO.
I don't know. You had these. If only they would have listened to you many years ago at the Wii HD. Think of how fortunes would change.
They'd be winning this generation.
Exactly. All right. Well, moving off.
Which was right here on bonus round.
I know. Many years ago. We'll have to roll back the tape. But yes, you called it Pachter. Let's move on to some of the other companies, other games this year. There are some amazing games that have come out this year. Of course, Grand Theft Auto, massive success. For you guys, Garnet, let's start with you. What is the big game for you this holiday season? It doesn't have to be a next-gen game, but the game you really think is going to be...
Is it too cheap to just say Watch Dogs? Because I mean, I think that's the very top of my list right now. But I think one of the things that is really interesting about this fall in maneuvers is that I see two cool games from Sony that are current-gen exclusives in Gran Turismo 6 and in Tearaway for the Vita. And don't underestimate Tearaway for the Vita because they pushed back to Vita, right? And Tearaway looks fantastic. And if there's one thing Little Big Planet told us is that, you know, Media Molecule knows how to make a really awesome game. And this thing looks like something that would actually really pull me and I think a lot of other people back to Vita. And I think it's very cool in a sea of multi-platform titles and multi-generational titles that Sony has these other two games, Gran Turismo and Tearaway, that are outside of that mold, that are unique and distinctive.
All right, good answer. Michael McWhorter, what, Dark Souls is not until...
I'm just going to be biding my time playing Dark Souls 2 beta for as long as I possibly can. There's really not a whole lot for me this fall that I'm particularly excited about. I maybe say this every year, but I'm pretty excited about Call of Duty this year.
Okay, you are?
Yeah, I love those games. Yeah, I love it. Ghost looks really cool to me. I'm not like a military shooter dude, bro, and even though I said on a previous episode that Battlefield 4 is my game. Yeah. No, I'm just, that's a lot of fun. I like playing those games in the fall. Watch Dogs, zero interest.
What pulls you to Ghosts over Battlefield 4? Because I feel like Battlefield 4 is sort of pulling me more this year.
They're kind of equally, you know.
Is it the multiplayer, the campaign, or what?
I don't know. It's I can't explain it. It's the dog. The dog plays a big role in it. But no, those games are fun. Like I like the experience. It's just kind of some junk food I like to get in the fall, and then. That's fair. You know.
But I never pegged McWhorter for the popcorn games. Are always about these culturally, you know.
Hey man, I have varied tastes. You know, I'm a very cultured person.
Always surprise us on the bonus.
All over the spectrum,
yes.
Jeff.
Now, Michael Pachter, there's no Fallout this year or anything like that. So what is your game?
So you know my whole story is I'm always at least a year behind on a game, if not two. So I played Fallout a year after it came out. I played Assassin's Creed 2 a year after it came out. I have a guilty little secret. I've never unwrapped Red Dead Redemption, and I think I'm playing that this holiday. It took a long time before I actually believed a Western could be a good game, and so I'm going to play.
No, that may be my favorite game of this kind of past generation.
Yeah,
it was an incredible.
You're a big part of the reason, and people have told me, as tedious as the game gets in the middle, finish it. Yeah. So I'm going to play.
Super satisfying.
Yeah, I'm going to play it.
All right, well that's good. So speaking of third-party games. On the business side, I mean, there's a big battle going on between Call of Duty, Battlefield, Watch Dogs is coming into the mix versus GTA. How do you think that the publishers are going to do this holiday season? What's going to be the big hit? I mean, it sounds like Call of Duty might be down a little bit based on.
I mean, the game reviewers to my left, the game reviewers have this kind of love affair with DICE.
Right.
They dinged Battlefield 3 for multiplayer. Well, for multiplayer, I thought last time, and they're not going to. You guys aren't going to this time because I know that they fixed that.
Campaign, I think, is still an open question, though.
Right. Who knows? Right. But multiplayer, I know they've gotten right just because I know. The Infinity Ward team is not 100% the same team as the last Infinity Ward team.
Not anywhere near, yeah.
And they don't have the support of Sledgehammer to make this game, and it's a brand extension. So lots of change going on at Call of Duty. So I have a feeling these guys are going to ding it by a couple of points. So my gut tells me Battlefield outscores Call of Duty in Metacritic score. By a couple of points.
Get dinged just straight up off the visuals. I mean, the engine is clearly aged now, and aged beyond the point of just being
Fight back, McWhorter.
But you can't just fix it with special effects.
No, I'm not dissing you guys. I mean, I think it legitimately, though. I think that you're going to see, for the first time in probably ever, a competitive game outscores Call of Duty. And so I think that hurts Call of Duty sales by a couple million. Yeah. Battlefield matters to EA. They're going to spend more marketing dollars than they've ever spent on a game. So I think that it's not going to outsell Call of Duty, but I think 15 million for Battlefield's a lock, and it could do 17. I think 20 is not a lock for Call of Duty, and that'll be the lowest one in a few years. Wow. It might do 21 or 22, and if it's a great game, it will do more. But Grand Theft Auto sucked a lot of dollars out of the system and a lot of hours out of the system.
Well, that's what I think. Like now, GTA Online.
And in fairness, Take-Two was smart launching GTA mid-September because we hope by the end of October, when Battlefield comes out, some people are done with GTA, whether they finished it or they're just tired of it. And by November, maybe. I think Assassin's Creed will be down year over year, which opens up a little bit of room for Battlefield and Call of Duty. And then the rest of the new IP. Watch Dogs is not going to be a 15 million unit seller. No. It's going to be a 3 or 4 or 5. Right. So in the aggregate, this really isn't much different than 2 years ago, Battlefield and Call of Duty, with the exception of Grand Theft Auto that sucked some wind out of the system. And I think being on next-gen consoles, and there's only a handful of titles available for next-gen, I think they're both going to sell exceedingly well.
Right. What about sports? So I think that's an interesting proposition, right? Because especially, I mean, I played FIFA on Xbox One at E3, and it was really, really fantastic. And, the current gen Madden, I feel like they've gotten really complacent with that, but I have some, limited optimism for what they're doing with Madden on next gen. From an analyst perspective, how much do you think that we can see people moving, like going out and getting current gen because, FIFA is out, Madden is out.
FIFA is bundled with Xbox One pre-orders in Europe, which is awesome. Which is giant.
Yeah.
And, we talk about console movers. That's a console mover.
It's a big console.
I mean, I think it's free, but you get a copy of FIFA for free. It's like, I know it's $100 more, £100 more, or 80 pounds more. But why not?
Well, there's two-thirds of it right there.
And FIFA, for real, is Grand Theft Auto for a lot of people in the world. I mean, it's the best game ever for a lot of people in the world.
I've been playing the new one. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think sports matters. And sports, you know, we're talking about the mass market caring about TV. The mass market cares about sports games. Sports sim is something, it's approachable. Fathers play with sons. It appeals to all of us, hardcore or not gamers. We all like sports games. So, yeah, I think
what about the proposition, though, of getting those people who have bought it already to move up? Because, you know, here in North America, it is still, even if you do the trade-up thing, it's still like an extra $10. And do I really want to move up?
The trade-up thing is going to be fascinating.
I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, if you get a next-gen console and you bought FIFA or Madden, of course you're trading.
I feel like a lot of people are going to trade up.
Yeah,
right?
I think.
For everything.
I mean, the question is, do you buy Battlefield week 1 if you know you're getting an Xbox One, you know, 3 weeks later? Probably not. Do you buy Call of Duty if you know you're getting?
Well, that shift is going to be fascinating. Even like
Right.
Call of Duty is on November 5.
Right.
But are some people going to say like, hey, I'm going to wait 2 weeks to play Call of Duty? Is that going to hurt their week 1 numbers?
Yeah,
I
see. It's fascinating,
So,
and I think that's happening consistently now. You know, I think like EA FIFA was down 24% in the UK first week.
Wow.
Where'd that come from? How is that even possible?
So get one for free with my Xbox One.
Well, and so Chart Track, who puts the data out, goes, well, maybe some of it is GTA sucked all available dollars out of the system, and lots of those people are still playing GTA. Of course they are. And also, there's a ton of people waiting because they pre-ordered the Xbox One, or they're going to wait for the PS4.
It's a complicated year.
It's fascinating. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, software is going to be fine. Publishers are going to be fine. The gamer is coming back. I think the gamer is happy that everybody is paying.
Smiling gamer.
People
I'm
are
a smiling gamer.
People
for
are
sure.
giving you something you want,
Oh, yeah.
and it's hardware. That hardware goodie is so exciting that of course you're going to go buy software.
This is a big year. All right, when we come back in the bonus round, we are going to talk about another entrant, Steam machines, next week in the bonus round.